Hey, hey, good morning, friends. I still got a towel on my head. It's just got out of the shower. I'm a little less prepared than normal this morning. I always shower at night, almost always, 9 times out of 10. But I couldn't because of my injections yesterday, so I had to. I had to do it this morning. I'm like, my hair takes hours to dry if I don't want to blow dry it, and I didn't feel like blow drying it this morning. All right, you guys, good morning. Hey, Anne Marie. I'm halfway through my first cup. What about you guys? I need to shut my phone off. It's being noisy already. One did. The first one did. Anne Marie, thanks. It went well. I was nervous. Especially when the doctor starts poking around where he's going to put that needle. I was like, excuse me, sir, my hip is over here. He's like, but we get there from the groin. Huh? You're putting that needle where? So that needle goes in, down in your business. I didn't know that. So yeah, going in for number 2 today. My leg's a little achy. My leg feels heavy and it's kind of hard to lift this morning, but it's not unbearable. I'll take some ibuprofen or something and I'll be okay, but number 2 will be today. Right, Tracy? I was like, where are you going? My hip ain't down there. Apparently it is. All right, friends. August 18th. The Lord's glory leaves the temple. Ezekiel 10, 1 through 22. In my vision, I saw what appeared to be a throne of blue lapis lazuli above the crystal surface over the heads of the cherubim. Can you imagine how beautiful? Then the Lord spoke to the crystal surface over. I can't. Okay, I need to go back. Sorry. I've read the same sentence twice and out of order. I'm going to go back to the beginning of that sentence. In my vision, I saw what appeared to be a throne of blue lapis lazuli above the crystal surface over the heads of the cherubim. Then the Lord spoke to the man in linen clothing and said, "Go between the whirling wheels beneath the cherubim and take a handful of burning coals and scatter them over the city." He did this as I watched. The cherubim were standing at the south end of the temple when the man went in, and the cloud of glory filled the inner court. Then the glory of the Lord rose up from above the cherubim and went over to the entrance of the temple. The temple was filled with this cloud of glory. The courtyard glowed brightly with the glory of the Lord. The moving wings of the cherubim sounded like the voice of the Almighty. It could be heard even in the outer courtyard. The Lord said to the man in the linen clothing, "Go between the cherubim and take some burning coals from between the wheels." So the man went in and stood beside one of the wheels. Then one of the cherubim reached out his hand and took some of the live coals from the fire burning among them. He put the coals into the hands of the man in linen clothing, and the man took them and went out. All the cherubim had what looked like human hands under their wings. I looked, and each of the 4 cherubim had a wheel beside them, and the wheels sparkled like beryl. All 4 wheels looked alike and were made the same. Each wheel had a second wheel turning crosswise within it. The cherubim could move in any of the 4 directions they faced without turning as they moved. They went straight in the direction they faced, never turning aside. Both the cherubim and the wheels were covered with eyes. The cherubim had eyes all over their bodies, including their hands, their backs, and their wings. I heard someone refer to the wheel as the whirling wheels. Each of the 4 cherubim had 4 faces. The first face was an ox, the second was a human face, the third was the face of a lion, and the fourth was the face of an eagle. The cherubim rose upward. These were the same living beings I had seen beside the Kebor River. When the cherubim moved, the wheels moved with them. When they lifted their wings to fly, the wheels stayed beside them. When the cherubim stopped, the wheels stopped. When they flew upward, the wheels rose up, for the spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. Then the glory of the Lord moved out from the entrance of the temple and hovered above the cherubim. And as I watched, the cherubim flew with their wheels to the east gate of the Lord's temple, and the glory of the God of Israel hovered above them. These were the same living beings I had seen beneath the God of Israel when I was by the Kebar River. I knew they were cherubim, for each had 4 faces and 4 wings and what looked like human hands under their wings. And their faces were just like the faces of the beings I had seen at the Kebar, and they traveled straight ahead just as the others had. That's hard to wrap your brain around, isn't it? It's trying to picture that in your head, and it's incomprehensible. Is that uncomprehensible? It's impossible to comprehend. Judgment on Israel's leaders, Ezekiel 11, 1-13. Then the Spirit lifted me and brought me to the east gateway of the Lord's temple, where I saw 25 prominent men of the city. Among them were Jazaniah, son of Azar, and Pelatiah, son of Benaiah, who were leaders among the people. The Spirit said to me, Son of man, these are the men who are planning evil and giving wicked counsel in the city. They say to the people, Is it not a good time to build houses? This city is like an iron pot. We are safe inside it like meat in a pot. Therefore, Son of man, prophesy against them loudly and clearly. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon me, and he told me to say, This is what the Lord says to the people of Israel. I know what you are saying, for I know every thought that comes into your minds. You have murdered many in this city and filled its streets with the dead. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. This city is an iron pot, all right, but the pieces of meat are the victims of your injustice. As for you, I will soon drag you from the pot. I will bring on you the sword of war you so greatly fear, says the sovereign Lord. I will drive you out of Jerusalem and hand you over to foreigners who will carry out my judgments against you. You will be slaughtered all the way to the borders of Israel. I will execute judgment on you, and you will know that I am the Lord. No, this city will not be an iron pot for you, and you will not be like meat safe inside it. I will judge you even to the borders of Israel, and you will know that I am the Lord. For you have refused to obey my decrees and regulations. Instead, you have copied the standards of the nations around you. While I was still prophesying, Pelatiah, son of Benaiah, suddenly died. Then I fell face down to the ground and cried out, O sovereign Lord, are you going to kill everyone in Israel? Hope for exiled Israel, Ezekiel 11, 14-21. Then this message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, the people still left in Jerusalem are talking about you and your relatives and all the people of Israel who are in exile. They are saying, These people are far away from the Lord, so now he has given their land to us. Therefore, tell the exiles, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Although I have scattered you in the countries of the world, I will be a sanctuary to you during your time in exile. I, the sovereign Lord, will gather you back from the nations where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel once again. When the people return to their homeland, they will remove every trace of their vile images and detestable idols, and I will give them singleness of heart and put a new spirit within them. I will take away their stony, stubborn heart and give them a tender, responsive heart, so they will obey my decrees and regulations. Then they will truly be my people, and I will be their God. But as for those who long for vile images and detestable idols, I will repay them fully for their sins. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. The Lord's glory leaves Jerusalem, Ezekiel 11, 22-25. Then the cherubim lifted their wings and rose into the air with their wheels beside them, and the glory of God, the God of Israel, hovered above them. Then the glory of the Lord went up from the city and stopped above the mountain to the east. Afterward, the Spirit of God carried me back again to Babylonia, to the people in exile there, and so ended the vision of my visit to Jerusalem, and I told the exiles everything the Lord had shown me. Signs of the coming exile, Ezekiel 12, 1-20. Again, a message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, you live among the rebels who have eyes but refuse to see. They have ears but refuse to hear, for they are a rebellious people. So now, son of man, pretend you are being sent into exile. Pack the few items an exile could carry and leave your home to go somewhere else. Do this right in front of the people so they can see you, for perhaps they will pay attention to this even though they are such rebels. Bring your baggage outside during the day so they can watch you. Then in the evening, as they are watching, leave your house as captives do when they begin a long march to distant lands. Dig a hole through the wall while they are watching and go through it. As they watch, lift your pack to your shoulders and walk away into the night. Cover your face so you cannot see the land you are leaving, for I have made you a sign for the people of Israel. So I did as I was told. In broad daylight, I brought my pack outside, filled with the things I might carry into exile. Then, in the evening, While the people looked on, I dug through the walls with my hands and went out into the night with my pack on my shoulder. Then the next morning, this message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, these rebels, the people of Israel, have asked you what this all means. Say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. These actions contain a message for King Zedekiah in Jerusalem and for all the people of Israel. Explain that your actions are a sign to show what will happen to them, for they will be driven into exile as captives. Even Zedekiah will leave Jerusalem at night through a hole in the wall, taking only what he can carry with them. He will cover his face, and his eyes will not see the land he is leaving. Then I will throw my net over him and capture him in my snare. I will bring him to Babylon, the land of the Babylonians, though he will never see it, and he will die there. I will scatter his servants and warriors to the four winds and send the swords after them. And when I scatter them among the nations, they will know that I am the Lord. But I will spare a few of them from death by war, famine, and disease, so they can confess all their detestable sins to their captors. Then they will know that I am the Lord. Then this message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, tremble as you eat your food. Shake with fear as you drink your water. Tell the people, this is what the sovereign Lord says concerning those living in Israel and Jerusalem. They will eat their food with trembling and sip their water in despair, for their land will be stripped bare because of their violence. The cities will be destroyed and the farmland made desolate. Then you will know that I am the Lord. A new proverb for Israel, Ezekiel 12:21 through 28. Again, this message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, you've heard that proverb they quote in Israel. Time passes and prophecies come to nothing. Tell the people, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will put an end to this proverb, and you will soon stop quoting it. Now give them this new proverb to replace the old one. The time has come for every prophecy to be fulfilled. There will be no more false visions and flattering predictions in Israel, for I am the Lord. If I say it, it will happen. There will be no more delays, you rebels of Israel. I will fulfill my threat of destruction in your own lifetime. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. Then this message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, the people of Israel are saying, he is talking about a distant future. His visions won't come true for a long time. Therefore tell them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. No more delay. I will now do everything I have threatened. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. Judgment against false prophets, Ezekiel 13:1 through 16. Then this message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, prophesy against the false prophets of Israel who are inventing their own prophecies. Say to them, listen to the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. What sorrow awaits the false prophets who are following their own imaginations and have seen nothing at all. O people of Israel, these prophets of yours are like jackals digging in the ruins. They have done nothing to repair the breaks in the walls around the nation. They have not helped it to stand firm in battle on the day of the Lord. Instead, they have told lies and made false predictions. They say, this message is from the Lord, even though the Lord never sent them. And yet they expect him to fulfill their prophecies. Can your visions be anything but false if you claim this message is from the Lord, when I have not even spoken to you? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Because what you say is false and your visions are a lie, I will stand against you, says the sovereign Lord. I will raise my fist against all the prophets who see false visions and make lying predictions, and they will be banished from the community of Israel. I will blot their names from Israel's record books, and they will never again set foot in their own land. Then you will know that I am the sovereign Lord. This will happen because these evil prophets deceive my people by saying all is peaceful, when there is no peace at all. It's as if the people have built a flimsy wall, and these prophets are trying to reinforce it by covering it with whitewash. Tell these whitewashers that their wall will soon fall down. A heavy rainstorm will undermine it. Great hailstones and mighty winds will knock it down. And when the walls fall, the people cry out, what happened to your whitewash? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will sweep away your whitewashed wall with a storm of indignation, with a great flood of anger, and with hailstones of fury. I will break down your walls right to its foundation, and when it falls, it will crush you. Then you will know that I am the Lord. At last, my anger against the wall and those who covered it with whitewash will be satisfied. Then I will say to you, the wall and those who whitewashed it are both gone. They were lying prophets who claimed peace would come to Jerusalem when there was no peace. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. Judgment against false women prophets. Ezekiel 13:17-23. Now, son of man, speak out against the women who prophesy from their own imaginations. This is what the sovereign Lord says. What sorrow awaits you women who are ensnaring the souls of my people? Young and old alike, you tie magic charms on their wrists and furnish them with magic veils. Do you think you can trap others without bringing destruction on yourselves? You bring shame on me and my people for a few handfuls of barley or a piece of bread. By lying to my people who love to listen to lies, you kill those who should not die, and you promise life to those who should not live. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I am against all your magic charms, which you use to ensnare my people like birds. I will tear them from your arms, setting my people free like birds set free from a cage. I will tear off the magic veils and save my people from your grasp. They will no longer be your victims. Then you will know that I am the Lord. You have discouraged the righteous with your lies, but I didn't want them to be sad, and you have encouraged the wicked by promising them life, even though they continue in their sins. Because of all this, you will no longer talk of seeing visions that you never saw, nor will you make predictions, for I will rescue my people from your grasp. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Okay. Oh my gosh, my battery's going to die on my computer. I didn't plug it in. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on, Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, Maren, you scared me.
I'm sorry. Ooh, looks like someone's ready to go.
Okay, hold on. Why are you up so early, honey?
I can't sleep.
Okay. I'm in the middle of devotions, okay?
Sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry.
Mom, after this, I think we're gonna have to let the butterfly go.
Okay. Let me finish devotions, okay, hon? All right, sorry about that. I'm glad I caught that when I did. That would have been awful.
Can I say hi to the girls?
Sure. Watch your step. Hey.
Good morning, girls.
All right, go ahead. Phew, you got some morning breath, my love. All right,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Sorry, Mom.
I'm just
Couldn't
teasing you.
say.
Here, sit down beside me and listen to devotions.
Sure. Should listen to I'm That Girl when you're done with that, huh? Should.
Okay. All right. All right. Day 105. We are on page 327. We are picking back up in the chapter called I'm That Girl Who Moves for Life. All right. Keeping the love alive with exercise can also be encouraged by never getting into ruts and being adventurous enough to try different things. I'm not talking about the varying forms of exercise anymore. I am now addressing the ways which you fit it into your busy life. Personally, I have a hard time getting the mojo to exercise in the afternoon. For decades, I always preferred working out mid to late morning. I thought it was my only sane time, but life has become so busy and cray-cray lately that fitting it into my lovely mid-morning zone makes me be a rusher and a hectic pusher. I always thought getting up early to exercise would be the most Spartanous, love-sabotaging thing I could ever do. But lately, it has been either get up early and exercise or do no exercise at all. I refuse to let my body rot, so up early, and guess what? I have completely fallen in love with it. As I mentioned, I used to think that the 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. mark, when breakfast was digested and there was a little break in responsibilities of the morning, was my only real doable exercise option. To be honest, though, with the warm tea just sipped and going soothingly down, I wasn't ever really in the mood to rev it up and do the clams and squats. This recent early morning exercise tryout has been a huge game changer. I go to bed earlier so that I don't cut back on any healthy sleep, which is a winner because in doing this, I also slay the nighttime snacking monster. Our mom always told us, too, that the hours of sleep before midnight are the most refreshing and restorative. I set my alarm for 5:30 a.m., and when it rings, I just get up before I start to think. I get my cute black yoga pants on and head to my workout corner. First, I spend a few minutes having a heart-to-heart with my best friend, God, Daddy God. Then I suck on a teaspoon of Manuka honey or swig a quarter cup of kombucha for an energy burst, and then just press play. I'm old school and I still love DVDs. I have this strange and wonderful sense of stored up energy and clarity from placing nothing between sleep and the lovely toad, and strangely, everything that used to be hard is just a whole lot easier when I'm the only one up. The house is quiet, and I can really get into my zone. It's over before I realize it. I rarely do more than 15 to 30 minutes. 20 minutes is about my jive, and then I treat myself to a scrumptious protein smoothie that I sip in my hot shower. She in the shower drinking smoothies, you guys. I sip in my hot shower while listening to worship music. I am up early enough that I even get time to massage in some lotions and potions while still praising. There is so much love in the whole morning that by the time the household erupts, I am the love bug, ready to hug all of them. This is a big difference from my crusty-eyed bedhead self that awoke to a big to-do list and was already feeling behind. Now, if this whole thing I just described to you still sounds like spit and vomit because I typed the numbers 530, then just rebuke the whole idea and resist the devil and he will flee. If early mornings make a hater out of you, then run away. Please, fast, run. It is not for you at this time. This joy of feeling fit and the journey along the way is something to dearly protect. Don't let my early morning exercise story shenanigans make you feel like you have to clone me. Find your own best time. Maybe it is in the afternoon. Maybe it is in the evening. I say that not even really wanting to type it because I am not a huge endorser of late night exercise. I don't encourage after dinner workouts unless it is just walking. Gentle walking is fantastic after dinner. I personally think intense workouts in the evening mess with the winding down of the day, and they do not protect your circadian rhythm, hormones, or body chemicals that promote sleep. But hey, don't let me put a big hate on your nighttime session if that is love for you. The love is the healthiest part of it all. Try things out. I'm not your exercise boss, just your encourager. Oh, and your warner. Here's my big warning. Over-exercising turns on cortisol and inhibits healthy weight loss, so don't get too encouraged to the point of obsession and injury. What does exercise obsession look like? When you wake up so early just to get your session in that you're missing adequate sleep. When you don't know how to enjoy rest days. You absolutely don't need to do more than 5 workout sessions a week. 4 to 5 is a nice balanced amount, although walking every day is fine if you love it. When you exercise intensely for 30 to 45 minutes, unless it is natural outdoorsy hiking and walking, that's just great stuff. That's always good for you. If you're trapped in this unwise, unkind, unhealthy over-exercise pattern, I want you to take my hand. I've been there. I want to, need to, pull you out. Come on, grab it. Grab my hand. Let's get you out, out, out. I know it feels like this is your only way. You have to be cruel to yourself to be kind. But that's one phrase I'm using now that is not the truth. You have to be kind to yourself to be truly kind. Having said this, if you are sitting here wondering if your 20 to 30 minute session a handful of times a week is too much, no worries. You are just not being sedentary. While overexercise devours a small group of people, it doesn't snare the majority of folk. The opposite is true. Most cultures are intrinsically more active than us Americans. I'm still a Kiwi by birth, but I live here in the U.S. and think of it as my home. This sustainable freedom approach to movement that screams freedom instead of a prison is a truly precious privilege. I have chosen to create the love, protect the love, and sustain the love because strength, vitality, and healthy spunk are gifts extended to me. I have been gifted these 650 muscles and a beautiful life to move them throughout. It is truly a choice to open and celebrate or neglect the gift and let it rot. I will confidently say, I'm that girl who loves to get her heart rate up. I'm that girl who moves her body to set it free. No rust buckets for bodies. I'm that girl who puts love into her exercise. I'm that girl who gives the exercise sad camp a shove. I'm that girl who remembers the privilege and joy of moving. I'm that girl who doesn't mind an occasional toad. And if you remember right, the toad she's talking about is sometimes you just have to eat the toad. She said the thing you don't want to do, you just have to shove it in your mouth and swallow. You just got to do it.
Yes, and listen to all that.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I shouldn't feel like I have to push myself so hard, I guess, with exercise. What? I mean, Yes, I should try, but not so hard, right?
Not gonna get out of your exercise because of the book. I'm
do you
just
listen
teasing you, kiddo.
to
All right,
that? I'm
we'll
just
talk in a
saying.
minute, okay?
Mom,
All right,
we
you
gotta
guys.
hurry. The
I
butterfly's
know.
ready to go.
Okay. Thank you for joining us this morning. We have to release some butterflies. I've already released 2 this morning. I had to. So I will see you live for breakfast. What time is it? It's 7:31. I will see you live in just a few minutes. I hope to make some chicken zucchini cakes. Doesn't that sound good? So I will see you all in a very short few minutes for breakfast. And if not, I will see you back tomorrow morning for more devotions. I love you guys. Thanks so much for joining.